Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. We have a new RTA season, which means a new series of climbing videos. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please see the video description below for a link to my Discord. So the way I'm going to do these climbing sessions is I'm just going to record 5 or 6 games in a row and then, analyze them and post them kind of regardless of how they go. Hopefully there'll be a learning opportunity. So this is just the first of several that I'll plan on doing as I push up throughout the season. So I kind of wanted to wait until I was in Champion so I could record games with double prebans. So you can see I prebanned Bellion and Fallen Cecilia. The opponent prebans Peyra and Rimuru. I had first pick here, so I take Conqueror Lilius. Peyra being off the table makes Conqueror Lilius that much better. The opponent responds with Ran and Politis. And that looks like a cleave opening, so I'm going to take Apoc Ravi and Troublemaker Crozet to defend against cleave. They respond with a Huayong and a Mediator Cowrick. So I think here they're trying to flex into a more standard draft now that I've taken some anti-cleave type of things. I have a few options at this point. I debate about taking Designer Lilibet, which would be a nice pick into the Ran and the Politis, but I feel like she does not have a ton of sustain, so she might just get deleted by, Huayong. I take the Spectre Tenebria because the opponent doesn't have a ton of AoE reach at this point. My plan at this moment is to ban the Ran, so hopefully we can do that. And I think Spectre is fairly safe given that they're flexing into a standard draft. And then I take Rem. I think Rem's value has gone up a teeny bit with the double prebans. And with the new Frenzy change that they've added into the season where units take reduced damage from the element that they are advantageous to. So Rem is going to take less damage from Politis and from Huayong. It makes it kind of hard for Huayong to one-shot Rem, which is, that's nice. So here, I have the opportunity to activate Rem off of the Politis. That's a nice AoE, and then, of course, if they try to tunnel another unit, she can proc her Elber's type attack. So they take Lionheart Sirmia last, which definitely could be problematic. So I think my plan is I'm going to ban the Ran, and then I'm just going to tunnel down this Lionheart. And if I can kill the Lionheart before she does a ton of damage, I think I win. We have Vigor from Lilius here, since he's banned out the Troublemaker Crozet. So that gives us some amount of mitigation, even though we don't have a Knight. We can put our imprints like this. I'm kind of okay with Steny dying. If she dies, that just ticks up the clock on Apocalypse Ravi. So I notice Politis is on book, so I'm not really afraid of using my buttons on Lilius here. We can provoke the Politis and push her back so that hopefully she doesn't get to put Mischance on my team. So yeah, we definitely push her back. Having a barrier with Lilius to put on Apocalypse Ravi is also nice. It kind of protects her against Huayong. Same with Lilius. The barrier really tips the total damage calculation in your scale, since it doesn't really count towards your max HP, but it does increase it. So it makes it harder for Huayong to one-shot you. I also have my Apocalypse Ravi on proof, so she's very tanky. So there's basically 0 shot those one-shots, and yet hardly does any damage at all. So we get a proc from Rem here, which is a little bit awkward, since now this is activated Lionheart Sirmia. And then he gets a dual attack from Mediator Cowrick to push forward Lionheart Sirmia. So I was going to be able to go with Apocalypse Ravi, and I could have Soulburn maybe into her with skill 1. But that didn't happen. So now she has defense buff, so she's going to be harder to take down. Luckily Rem does activate, which is nice. And that strips the defense buff off of Lionheart Sirmia, so this has been a very RNG game so far. Rem is awake. I can skill 3 here. I think there's a good shot I kill because I have a Vigor buff. And we do, so we get our Spectre back. And that's pretty much game, right? Because we can take out the rest of his team with the Soulburn Steny.
Kiss my feet. I will step on you.
So yeah, a lot of different ways this could have gone based on, you know, the RNG elements of Rem and the dual attack and stuff like that. So that's the first game. Alrighty, next game. So I pre-banned Bellion and FCC again. The opponent has pre-banned Mediator Calric and Conquer Lilius. I take Para first. I think she's a pretty flexible opener in this spot, since Conquer Lilius is taken. Lets me go aggressive or, you know, flex into a slower standard draft if I want to. I think I will continue pre-banning Bellion and FCC for a little while just to get a sense of it. I liked the Bellion pre-ban from the previous season since it lets you draft Steny with a lot more flexibility, you know, earlier in the draft. The FCC pre-ban, I think, also complements it pretty well. It really lets you play aggressively if you want to. A lot of people rely on FCC, you know, to kind of turtle down and outlive, like, moderately to very aggressive drafts, and it's a lot harder to do that without FCC. She provides so much mitigation in the early game. Also, her barriers make it really easy for certain stealth units to kind of hide behind, and it can be very annoying to play into her. So here the opponent takes Designer Lilibet and Huayong in response to the Para. I think Rimmer's okay here since the Designer Lilibet will proc if I use my debuffs from Para. And the Huayong, I liked the Rimmer a lot more before the Frenzy change because he could just one-shot the Huayong. But now with the Frenzy change, he sometimes doesn't kill her depending on the mitigation situation, right? I take Apocalypse Ravi mostly because I'm not really sure who else to take, and I figure, okay, this is an okay anchor. APOC is good into Designer Lilibet. Like, Lilibet has a really hard time killing her because of all the self-sustain that APOC brings. And my APOC is on proof, so I don't really have to worry about Huayong one-shotting her. So the opponent now takes AOL and Amelia. The AOL, I think, was kind of predictable given my Rimuru pick. I think Politis is good here. Politis is good into both AOL and Amelia. I would like to ban out this AOL because if it's a fast AOL, that's really problematic for me. You know, I use my Para and then the AOL likely cuts my Rimmer if she's fast and prevents me from using his skill 3, and that could really kill my, you know, early turn momentum. So we're going to take Politis here. And not really sure who else to take. I end up taking Summertime Iseria. This might have been an Ida game, to be honest. I think Ida might have been okay here. Ida, you know, doesn't bring a ton of debuffs, so that's good into Designer Lilibet. The problem, I guess, would be potentially getting my Ida a turn if he bans out Para. So the opponent has an Arbiter Vildred, which is kind of annoying, but I have Politis, I have APOC, and I have Para. I think those are all three decent things into RB. Para can stun, you know, and put buff block to prevent the Gab. Apocalypse Ravi gets banned, but she could res potentially if RB kills a bunch of things. And Politis can double Soulburn, right? So we have options here. So I have to decide how I want to use my buttons in this scenario. I could just skill 3. I elect to go ahead and do this because I want to get bombs going, but we only land a bomb on Designer Lilibet, which is pretty unfortunate. So that's kind of a bummer. But I wanted to get the push from Summertime Iseria, so we can skill 3 here. Another option was just skill 3 on Para and then letting Amelia take the turn. That might have worked also. If I got another bomb here, this would have been much better for me. So we can bomb Huayong, but we get 15%ed, so kind of a tragic opening here. I guess we might as well just kill this Huayong now, and now we land the bomb. You know, if we got one more bomb, so we got basically double 15%. If we got one more, we could have probably just probably bombed Amelia or something and either taken her out or maybe just bombed the RB and taken one of his lives. We get the Rimmer proc here, so defense buff on the team probably will be helpful to survive this Arbiter Vildred, who is now debuff free. So let's see, do we want... I guess we want to just kill the Amelia. And then our Politis can... If I skill 3, oh, it's reset. My plan was to skill 3 and put hit down if the Arbiter was tanky, so we'll just skill 1. This kills him and he comes back and gabs. That's not great for us. I maybe could have played this better. This ended up being a little awkward. So here comes the RB. He does quite a bit of damage. Could skill 1 on... I think we skill 1 on RB just to try to get him dead. Now we have to hit this designer Lilibet because she's taking a turn and we basically have no HP. So we land the stun, that's actually very important. And now we can go, I guess we have to go into RB and we hit him. So getting good RNG right now. I guess this makes up for the beginning of the game. Yeah, we definitely got lucky here at the end, but we got super unlucky in the beginning, and then we dual attack and crit through a hit down, so I guess that makes up for the beginning for sure. Alrighty, next game. So I think there's a variety of ways you could approach the double pre-ban. You could pre-ban out units that are just very annoying for your playstyle. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. Another potential strategy you could use would be to pre-ban out the openers, depending on which pick you are. So if you're first, you would pre-ban Peyra and or Ran and kind of force them to pre-ban out the Lilius. I think that could work out. You'd obviously have to be flexible and be able to play both with and without the Lilius in that case. Another scenario you could do is you could always pre-ban out the same opener, regardless of what pick you are, and then just take gear off of that unit. So you could just say, I'm never seeing Peyra again, right? And then taking the gear off her and always pre-banning her. That would be another viable, I think, way to, attack this new option. So here, the opponent has pre-banned out AOL and Rimuru. I take Peyra. He takes Politis and Ran. So I'm getting cleaved. It shouldn't surprise me, I guess, that a lot of people just start picking cleave units when I'm pre-banning out Bellion and FCC, right? They probably don't want me to cleave them, so they're just going to take the units. So I take a Ravi here. I want an anchor. And I think now I have to decide, do I want to play this to ban out the Ran, or do I want to leave Ran in? And you kind of need to answer this question early in your draft. You can take Designer Lilibet here, but if you do that, you're kind of committed to leaving Ran in, I think. You can see here I'm kind of hovering over Troublemaker. I'm debating. If I take Troublemaker, I'm going to ban Ran, almost certainly. If I take Designer Lilibet, then I probably want to leave Ran in if I can, because otherwise I think Designer Lilibet kind of loses her value. Here I decide I'm just going to take the Designer Lilibet. I have the Aravi, so I can take Acid later in the draft. Harder to take Acid if they have the Aravi, since he's a really squishy target, for a nice revive. So they take Judge Kisei, which is a pretty good pick into Designer Lilibet and Apocalypse Ravi, because she can reset both of them, right? And then a Huayong. So we definitely take the Acid here. And who do we take last? I think there's options. I think I could take Rem. That's another option as well. I think Rem is pretty good. If we get to keep Acid, then we probably just activate Rem for free, like instantly, right? Because we'll just snipe out probably the J Kisei or the Ran, depending on, what gets banned and stuff. And if we can instantly activate our Rem, then we don't have to worry about getting defense broken or stunned or anything like that. The opponent has a lot of AoE here with Politis, Ran, and Judge Kisei, so I think Rem is definitely a good pick. And we're probably, I think we're either banning last or we're banning Politis. Do I care about Arya? I honestly don't think I care about Arya too much. This is tough. I think Politis is annoying because it prevents me from using Peyra to put up Escort. Okay, he bans Peyra. I guess we could have banned someone else if we knew he was banning Peyra. I kind of assumed he would ban out Acid, to be honest, but that doesn't happen. So we get Acid. It works out. So we take first turn. And I'm debating who I want to kill. I think we want to kill Judge Kisei, because she can reset everything. If Ran uses his defense break, skill 3, then that's going to activate our designer Lilibet, which he probably doesn't want, so it kind of prevents Ran from doing what he needs to do. Goes into the Rem. Looks like this is a damage Ran. That hurt a fair bit. Okay, here comes Hwyong, going into the designer Lilibet. And just about one-shotting. Not quite, though. If the opponent was using Silver Rain, then he would have one-shot. But I guess if you're damage Rain, you probably want to use Sword of Summer Twilight or some other damage artifact. I'm just going to use my skill 3 on designer Lilibet here because she's dead, so I might as well get value from her. I could hold it and use it if I res her, but I don't know if I will be able to res her, so might as well just get value from her now. And it looks like this is potentially a damage Arya, which is interesting. So we go in with Acid, counters, strips evasion, awkward, and then this will be the skill 2, and I guess this just strips everything else. And that's actually a lot of damage, jeez. But we have Sigurd's Scythe, so I think we skill 3 here. And this should knock Hwyong out of stealth. Yes, it does. Our Rem is almost dead. And is kind of asleep also. Counter? No. Does this kill Rem? This probably kills Rem. It does. Unfortunate. So we have Misty buff, and Arya still has defense buff, so I think if we miss, we do not kill here. So I'm just going to skill 1. We probably would have killed there on a hit. I don't think we would have killed on a miss, though. Okay, but now much less health, so I think we kill now, even on a miss. So I think we go for it.
I will open the doors to hell.
And we get the kill. We bring back Acid. That's an okay target to bring back. Get the defense break. We deserve it. And now we can soul burn into the defense break, so that should be game.
Let's not let this drag on. End it now. Assignment complete.
Alright, so here's the next game. The really awkward thing about playing right now when you're in Champion is you can get matched to people who are not in Champion, which means you can alternate between double and single pre-ban, so you see that happen here. So this is just a single pre-ban game. And it's kind of screws with your head a little bit because you get used to, you know, prioritizing units in a certain way and expecting drafts to follow certain, you know, algorithmic steps in the beginning, and that doesn't happen. Or it happens differently, right, between the two systems. So here they've banned out Hwyong. I just take the Conquer Lilius. They take the APOC, which is kind of predictable, right, since they took, or they pre-banned Hwyong. And they take FCC. So I think I want to take Steny here. Steny is good into APOC, right? And we've pre-banned Bellion, so we can take Steny. For my second unit, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think actually, honestly, Pera is probably the pick. Pera or maybe ML Cowrick, one of the two. But I get like I think distracted in real life or something, so I'm kind of waste some time. But yeah, I think Pera or ML Cowrick would be good here. But we kind of time out, I think. I think I actually go for LQC, but I don't make it. At any rate, I get Firehand guy. Oh, that's right, I remember. I think I'm trying to force Arya in this game. And so I'm thinking, okay, I can take a nice unit for Arya to protect, which is LQC. And then I was planning on taking Arya in like the 4-5 slot, assuming the opponent, you know, let me get away with that. But we have a Firehand guy who's not, he's not the absolute worst here. Kind of awkward to take him this early. You don't really want to take him this early. But it's nice because he can reset APOC gravity, right? So that's good. Okay, the opponent takes Politis. Politis is annoying because we have Lilius, right? Probably on book. Or I mean on Abyssal Crown. I'd probably like to build a second Politis on Abyssal Crown. I'm running out of artifacts though, to be honest. Like, how many, you know, of these 5-star artifacts can you really build up? So they take Rem. Rem is interesting. We have Spectre, so I don't really know how great Rem is. Honestly, they should have probably just taken Acid. I'd just like lose. So we take Opsig here. I had to shift a lot of gear around on my account for a tournament I was going to play in, so I think Opsig is on kind of a slower build, like 240 on Guiding Light, but she's more high damage, right? So I think Opsig should be able to nuke like a Politis or something like that with an FCC shield on it. And then I take Rimuru because I want another answer to Rem. We have Spectre, so that's one, but I don't want to have to ban out the Rem. And I think Rimuru is good here because he can one-shot. Alright, then the opponent takes Sage Ball, so we probably have to ban that out. Sage Ball's annoying. You know, he'll probably CR cut some things and put everyone to sleep, and then I just die. So I have to ban him. Opponent bans Spectre. That kind of makes sense. Doesn't have a great answer to Spectre, other than just, you know, outlasting me with FCC and killing everyone, which could definitely happen. So I think we need to hold our skills here. I want to go into the Politis just to get a sense for how tanky it is. The barrier looks pretty big. But I realize actually this was probably a mistake because if I did enough damage I would have gotten the barrier off of her. So I should have gone into FCC. I haven't played with Opsig for a while. So here we reset. I'm debating about soul burning. I think maybe I just should have just to be safe. Like I didn't get punished. But what else am I going to use my souls on? I could soul burn Rimuru, I suppose. But that doesn't probably doesn't matter too much since Rimru's not super tanky. But I guess at this point we might as well soul burn. Okay, so we don't have vigor, so we're just gonna have to go for it. We get the kill. Not a super tanky Politis.
Data analysis complete. Now disappear.
We can skill 3 to put up attack buff, and this will counter Rem, which is totally fine because this will trigger our Rimuru. And despite what you may think about Rimuru, this is one of the best things he's done for the game, and that's deleting Rem. So, see ya, Casino Cancer. Alright, so Rem down. APOC is reset, so we don't have to worry about a revive. We just have to power through with damage. He can provoke Lilius here, but our Lilius probably will lap around and we can, you know, soul burn the provoke onto the APOC and control her for the rest of the game. We just get to do a bunch of damage with Cowrick here. And silence, that's pretty sweet. Get a little chip damage in with Opsig. Check the cooldown, make sure we're still okay.
I'll take your life.
And yeah, we can use our skills on Lilius here, so I don't think the opponent can win from this spot.
Obey if you wish to live.
Okay, yeah, they concede. Nice.
Get out alive.
Last game. This time the opponent takes Rand first, so declaring their intention out the gate. They have pre-banned Peyra and Designer Lilibet, and I have pre-banned Bellion and FCC, so Rand is quite strong in this situation. He's very fast, and he doesn't have to worry about a lot of the units that could counter him, like Lilibet or Peyra, stuff like that. So I think taking Lilius is fine. It's another speed contest. We're probably just going to swap out, you know, our speed units in terms of banning out. And then I'm going to definitely take APOC here. I do not want to give the the opponent ran APOC in this scenario, given these prebans. Because if you look at these prebans, this is kind of taking us back to the prime Summertime Iceria cleave. I'm going to take Troublemaker Crozet, and then I realize I picked the wrong one. So honestly, I probably lost more points than I've gained by building 2 of certain units, but it's fun, so I still do it. So this Troublemaker Crozet has more ER and has Bastion on him, and I most definitely wanted the one below, which is faster and has Holy Sack. Holy Sack would be way better here. But that's okay, we just take Stenny instead. Or I mean, we take that Troublemaker and then we take Stenny. Since he's taken Huayong, so he needs to take AoE Reach here. If I had a really fast Angel of Light, I would probably take that. But mine's on a slower build right now, so we take Acid. I think Acid is also very good here. We're going to ban out the Ran. We can't afford a defense break, right? We have very little cleansing. Designer Lilibet's banned, so Ran's out of here. I assume he's banning Acid or Conquer Lilius. Probably has to ban out the Conqueror, unless his Politis is on Crown. Then he probably bans Acid. And yeah, he bans Conqueror, so he's probably on Book. Conqueror would just be way too much, right? It would just attack break the whole team. He wouldn't do anything. We can put our imprints like this. I think since we have a Bastion, we put Stenny on the HP imprint, and then we give APOC the mitigation from Trozet. If it was Holy Sack, I would maybe have to put Stenny on the mitigation. Maybe, no, that's wrong. I still probably put APOC on the mitigation, since we just need our APOC to live here. Alright, so he's going to get a double Landy Soulburn. I guess that's one of the awkward things of using Acid, right? Because he gives himself like an attack buff and evasion. Lets them double Soulburn Landy, so that's a lot of damage. And now here comes the Politis.
Are you my next target?
So I think this is an example of why Holy Sack would just be better, because our Trozet's probably going to die here from the splash damage, and if we had the Holy Sack, he would be going up before this APOC, and he could cleanse her off, right? And it wouldn't really matter if our Spectre died, because we could put anti-crit and defense buff on APOC, and then just slam her S3 into Politis and take her out, and get a revive, right? And that would either give us, I guess, an Acid back, or a Spectre back, and I think that would be better, because right now it's awkward. We have to, we can kill, I mean, our Stenny lived for sure, so that's nice. But our APOC has hit down, and I don't want to risk using S3 while we have hit down, because I do not think she would kill if she missed, and then that would definitely be game.
I'll take your life.
I'm debating about soul burning here, but again, I think it's very risky, since if we soul burn and we miss, we don't heal that much. I could just slam the skill 3 just to try to do as much damage as possible. Instead, I just want to heal as much as I can. Unfortunately, we miss.
You aren't even fit to kiss my feet.
If we landed that hit, I think we would have lived for sure. But I don't think it should matter. I think we should be able to kill here. Yeah, this is a pretty squishy Huayong, so our Stenny kills on this next attack. Unless, I guess that Huayong could have skill 3 up, which would be bad. But our APOC lives, with plenty of health. No worries. Alright, that's game. Thanks for watching. Later.